You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Without going too far, I just want to say congrats if you guys are part of the Link membership, and excited to hang out with you guys every week, 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. I will say there's quite a few folks that are new. I know we're kind of hovering at like 180, 190 people in the group, which is awesome. But I know there's been some really good growth the last couple of weeks. And so we got some new faces. If you guys are new, we try to do a weekly live stream Wednesday nights. Usually there's Zoom meetings, or every other week it's a Facebook once or twice a month that we bring a big dog guest in. Just want to say welcome if you guys are new here, and maybe this is your first one, because I know there's a couple guys in here. It's their first night. All right, Lucas, it rains every other day here. I call it job security. Yeah, we all complain about the rain, but it's nice to have it, obviously. As much as we're doubling, triple cutting and edging almost every week for some of our residentials. The crabgrass with the rain and the heat has been brutal. Let me know if you guys are dealing with crabgrass. It has been a very frustrating year for stick edging and keeping the edge and the curb line looking nice for our residential sites. I'll tell you that. Chad Hamilton, we don't skip much either. I've been trying to mark with yard signs, but they keep getting stolen crazy. Chad, quick tip for that. Put them out Friday at about 4 p.m., and you'll get the weekend out of them at least for sure. Most folks won't touch them over the weekend. The city's probably taking them down Monday through Thursday. Most of those government offices are like 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday. Normally they have Friday off, or 8 to 6. So put them out on Friday when everybody goes home, and you'll at least get the weekend out of them. A little inside baseball tip there. That's crazy. It's pretty rare for anyone to even have irrigation in Pittsburgh, let alone use it. Yeah, I hear you. In that regard, my heart goes out to you. I don't have all the answers, obviously, but perhaps you can shift gears to calling up those clients and, again, offer pruning service, maybe get into mosquito control, or expand services, or mulch, or rock. Those would be some of my, that's what I would do. I would pivot. You have to pivot. What are your thoughts on a mid-season price increase? I don't see any issue with that. And frankly, this is the time of year to do it. Folks are more reluctant to renew or go with you if you're going to raise their price in the spring, right? Pretty common sense. But doing a mid-season prune, they're pretty locked in. Most folks, they're busy with life. It's almost back to school season here. They're just going on or getting back from their, summer annual vacation. An extra $2 isn't going to kill them with raising prices. So use the price increase letter on Launchpreneur Academy, or make your own, or ask ChatGPT. I'm all about that. That'll definitely help you guys out. But raising it, $2 to $4, I don't think that'd be any issue at all. You might lose one, but for every 10 you raise, you're breaking even, right? So more money, less work, less wear and tear. So there is a multiplication factor there for sure. All right. I love doing live streams. I really can't wait for being set up in the house to be able to do live streams. So I'm going to do a lot more live streams on YouTube in 2025 as well. I love hanging with folks. We have the same thought. It just takes time to build the route list of irrigated only type lawns. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get rid of my residential trailer park lawns for, man, I couldn't even tell you. It's probably less than 5 or 6 years ago, realistically, maybe 7 years ago now. But I had them for quite a while. I was not going to, I remember us graduating out of them where we were just so overloaded. Our Monday was taking us to like 7, 8 p.m. And I just realized, hey, like these lawns, I got to let them all go. And I wish I would, told you I sold them, but I just called everybody and told them we're done. All right, Kyle, hey, Brian, I saw on your post that I need to reach back out on my onboarding gal and see if we can switch to that one. Thanks for the follow-up. Yeah, dude, it might save you a couple $100 a month. I mean, even if you're a slow on-ramp with LMN, $300 a month is a lot easier pill to swallow than $550, $600. I totally get that. Tactics or strategy for expanding service area. I would just say before you expand your service area, see if you can expand your services in your area. I think far too many people expand way too far on their service area, and route density is going to be a lifesaver for so many of us. And obviously a very tangible key to profitability. So if you are going to expand, I wouldn't move the needle, but, whatever it's 1 or 2 miles or 5 or 10 minutes or one side of town, like try to keep it consolidated. I would not take the circle and pinch it out, or blow it out, where you're going to expand the whole circle by 50%. I would, I remember like on your computer, you can like hold a Alt or Command and you take a square and like pull a corner out, like make it more trapezoidal or just pull a square out. Like that's what I would do. I wouldn't just blow out the circle. I would pull it out to the corner or one side of town, or maybe you got a couple outliers that you can make a route or a day out of, if that makes sense. So before you expand service area, maybe consider expanding services. I would guarantee you that we're all sitting on 100 grand, $250,000 or $1 million worth of business with the current clientele that we all have. So before you expand service area, maybe consider expanding services. Learn something new. Why not? Umar Patel. What's up, brother? I don't know your name, but welcome to the group. You look like a new face, I should say, not a familiar face, but a new face. LMN bound soon. That's awesome. If you have any questions, happy to help. I don't have it all figured out with LMN, but we're getting there. It's been a very, very huge blessing in our business. So, and that new tier, I'm going to be talking about it a lot because I think that's the sweet spot for so many guys in the middle of being in the middle, if that makes sense. All right, Nick, Greg, maybe I should stop doing last names. I apologize. Nick, what's up, man? How you doing? Ever get into snow removal for assisted living companies? Having a hard time bidding it as there are additional living villas in the back of the property and extra liability keeping everything clear and open for the elderly. I don't have too much background with that, but I know we're going to be talking snow over the next couple of weeks and months. So potentially put that on the Facebook group, maybe blur out the address and all that mess or any major roads, and then we can all look at it together, Nick. Or maybe next week or the week after we have a live bidding session, share some photos in the group, or we can have you share a screen and we can look at that together. How's ticket sales for your event going so far? Maybe Bethany can text that to me if she happens to know. I would say we're north of 110, maybe 100, 110, 125. Going pretty good, pretty healthy. Right now, I think we're tracking a little bit behind where we were last year, but I just think the economy is a little bit more tough, broadly speaking, and people have less disposable income. We're being very cognizant of that. We're going to be running some sales in August with some of the whole ball wax promotion, if you will. So good way to save some money and also get access to LAL. We're really want people to know there's going to be a big value add coming to Launchpreneur Academy. I don't take it for granted that people are going to be joining us. So we want you guys to know, and anybody coming to that event, that the money that you spent there will be an investment and you will get a return on it. This isn't guru stuff, very grounded, conservative information that we're going to be sharing there. And so we want that to be a priority for you guys. And I know you guys are spending a couple $100, $500 of your hard-earned money. We don't take that for granted. So we always want to deliver a great event for you guys. And so I am really looking forward to it this year. It's going to be very thoughtful, very intentional, very meat and potatoes, no fat. So if you like that message, then we can't wait to see you there. Bethany just texted me and said 142, which is really good, really healthy. So I'm excited about that. We're probably on par for where we were last year, but we do have some work to do to get back to that 350 number. So if you guys are excited about coming, we'd love to have you there. And then bring a friend or bring your spouse. We actually just had a couple the other day purchase 7 tickets. So that's really, really cool. They're bringing the whole team. And so we're looking forward to hanging out with those guys there. Shout out to the Eikenberries. All right, let's see where we're up next. Vinny's in here. What's up, Vinny? How we doing? All right, I'm still struggling with LMN, starting a second crew this week. Now 4 guys, just need to find a third truck so I can roll around and do estimates and running around. Yeah, brother, I'm with you. We need a new truck for next year. I'm going to have 3 crews going out next year. That's my goal. Crabgrass and buckhorns suck here down in Adrian. Yeah, dude, it's been absolutely ridiculous. Not so much buckhorns, but crabgrass has been brutal. Next year, we're going to be double our steps on crabgrass. Yep. Power washing. That's a great suggestion, Vinny, for extra services. I love that. All right, Josh Clark. And I'm going as fast as I can with these questions, guys. You guys are putting them in here like crazy. Holy cow. About 40 people joining tonight. And if you guys are listening to this or replay or whatnot later, we love you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for joining with us. I love building community with all you guys. I'm trying to figure out what to do this winter. I'm in Dayton, Ohio. We want to get maybe 1 or 2 good snows a year. Try to wait out if it's worth the investment into buying the equipment. Yeah, so here's what I would suggest, Josh. Maybe find a used salter, whether it's a V-Box or a tailgate spreader, and offer salt services to your customers. I think you have a better chance of making revenue and some high profit work with a salter than you probably do a plow truck. And I mean, not only for your commercial sites, but also for your residential sites. You can get a bag of ice melt for 10, $12 and put it down for 30, $35 a bag applied and just have a little insurance for your customers and sign as many folks up as you can that way, whether you get a seasonal agreement or you are doing it per bag applied. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you got 20 customers that sign up and you put down 30 or 20 bags at $240 cost and you put it down for $600, you make $350 a night. Let's say it snowfalls 3 times a month. That's an extra $1,000 a month. It's not a lot, but that can help offset your $2,500 a month in bills for December, January, February until you guys can get back on top of churning revenue for spring. So just something to think about. I don't know if plowing is really where it's going to be at for a lot of states, Ohio and Southern, but salting could be a really good option for you. And you can find used tailgate spreaders, TGS 800s, TGS 1100s on Facebook Marketplace for 20, 30 cents on the dollar. There's some really good values out there. Joseph Roy, got to love when you tell your customers to turn off their sprinklers from all the rain. We still see them running, but they won't shut them off. Yeah, we deal with too many of those. What chemical works well for house and gutters to get black stains off? I am not sure. Maybe somebody can leave a comment there. Next year, spray Quinclorac Drive XL rates along driveways and sidewalks before the grass grows big and it's too late. Yeah, just make sure you guys are licensed if you need to be in all that mess. Great suggestion there. Alan? Jacob, he said, we all know route density is key. How would you say that has changed over the years? I say, for us, we're doing close to 100 properties weekly, but we're needing to service a 10-mile radius to accomplish that. I don't think that's anything awful or brutal. But again, I would say thicken in your services in between that route before you start expanding to 11, 12, 13 miles out, if that makes sense. Our route density hasn't really changed. The services that we have offered have highly changed and morphed, if you will. We might be in a couple mile more radius. Again, I pulled one section of that square, this figurative square, southeast to another part of Novi. But other than that, I'm in a 2-mile radius still. And then like I said, maybe lightning bolt out about a mile because we picked up some pretty large HOAs and commercial sites. But our route has not changed much. I could literally build a $10 million company in a 3-mile radius where I live. I'm not saying everybody can do that, but I think too many folks are excited about growing their routes and expanding their service area before they offer their service or expand their service offerings. And by the way, you don't have to like it. Hire someone who does. I got some guys on my team right now that are chomping at the bit to do more mulching and pruning. I absolutely hate pruning, but that doesn't mean that we don't have $250,000 in revenue sitting out there for another guy with a route with a truck and a dump trailer the same time next year. All right, give me 1 second so I can take a breath. Got to take a sip of water. This whole time I've actually been holding our breath. I'm a man of many talents. I'm with Brian. 5-mile radius from your shop, and we are selling everything we can for our customers and new ones. Vinny, that's freaking awesome. Great job. I'm proud of you. That's exactly what I would do. And that's what we are doing. I mean, that's what we have done. My company was doing 60 some grand like 5 years ago. This year we'll do probably 400 to 450. And if we had a good winter and we annualized the next year, I think we'd be pushing about 450, 500. So Owen, can't wait. It's going to be my 5th year at LAL. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you for the trust, support. And dude, thank you so much. That's super cool. Speaking of LAL, what's the plan for the social night? We're still shaking that out. I'm open to suggestions. I know this sounds maybe not as much like me, but we're not going to make it as pomp and showy and event-like, if you will. We're going to keep it very casual. We'll have a room set up, some tables. We're going to figure out some hors d'oeuvres, some food, maybe some entertainment. We've got some great ideas with somebody had what was it? Like a 50-50 raffle for Hot Pink and maybe some games you can play where you can have a chance to win some prizes. Really, folks, Friday night, they just want to relax. It's a long day of travel for a lot of folks. And folks just want to network too. That's the number one feedback that we took. And we take a lot of feedback serious from the event, and folks just want to network on Friday night. Go out on the town, go to dinner with some friends that they know, instead of having a huge anchor event on Friday night. And I will just tell you guys honestly, Friday night cost me about $10,000 to $15,000. We heavily try to get a sponsor or two for that. Not every company has, these giant budgets, discretionary budgets. The last 12, 18 months, I'm pulling water out of a rock to pay for these things. And that comes right out of the bottom line of the event if we don't. And although that's fine, it's okay. It's really hard to rent. I mean, it's just ridiculous what people want to charge for stuff, to be honest with you. The golf cart, go-kart place wanted like $12,000. The axe throwing place wanted $15,000. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I don't think we're getting our money out of it. So I'm in this tough spot where how do you host 200, 250 people and make it a good value, give them a good time? And we just realized like we're trying to do too much on Friday night. Folks want to relax, hang out, break bread, eat dinner, network, ask questions. And I think that's really just from the feedback that I'm getting what people want to do on Friday night. And frankly, I like that too. The number one feedback that we get from LAL is more time to network and more time to chat with other peers or friends at the table or the speakers, of course, that are mingling. And so we're trying to incorporate more of that. All right, there's so many great questions here. Holy crap. I'm doing my best, guys. Check with your insurance company also to see what it would cost to provide those services. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Before you expand anything new, make sure you're covered. Abel, he's saying, hey, God bless you, Brian. Just recently joined 3 years in running my dad's landscaping business alone. Been running it as an official business since last year, having the first HOA. Recently asked for a termination clause contract. How does that work? I'm not too sure. I probably know what you're talking about, but usually our termination clause is service can be canceled at any time with a 2-week notice, 2-week written notice. And so I don't really keep anybody on the hook, or you owe me 80% of remaining revenue if you cancel us. I don't really incorporate too much of that. If you don't like us, you don't want us, that's fine. There's probably a mutual feeling there. One, you don't appreciate us, or two, we're probably feeling the same way. And so that's okay if you want to just move on. So I would maybe, again, refer to ChatGPT or even another friend that maybe has a good paragraph in their contract that could be really helpful. But yeah, not a bad idea. What have you seen lately that most businesses, small businesses, are struggling with, Lucas? It was a great conversation I heard from Corey Ballard and Leroy Maines just last week on the Green Grind podcast, or 2 weeks ago. I love it when Corey and them are doing like kind of solo shows. Obviously, they run a partnered podcast, but they were just talking about, cash on hand and your P&L showing profitability, showing cash flow and cash flow projections, and talking about having money in the bank account. Like you could have a $20,000 quote unquote profit month and have $3,500 in the bank account. And it's very, very sneaky. It's very, very tricky. It can be misleading, and it can drive you crazy. I know it has myself for a long time, which is why I'm such a big proponent on charge card on file and end of month billing and having a good CRM so you can keep track of these things. Every Monday, I go through my accounts receivable, and I am sending out invoice reminders for all of our clients. On the 25th, 27th-ish, if you will, of the month, the fourth week of the month, I'm sending out an invoice reminder for our clients that are on Net 30, but their payment would be due in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So what I'm not looking to find is on August 2nd, I'm doing end of month, and I realized from July 2nd, my invoice hasn't been paid, and I'm sending out Net 30-day late reminders. Why not just send them on the 26th, 27th? Are they technically past due? No. But out of half that you send, half just missed your email or opened it and didn't reply, or forgot to send the check, or did send the check, but they said, what are you talking about? We sent the check 2 weeks ago. Or I had one that we missed an ACH transfer. It just literally fell through the cracks. It was only $1,726. That's enough to get my attention. I'm sure it is your guys' as well. And so as I got payroll hitting in 2 days, I was thinking to myself, I mean, we're solid, but like, why is that invoice not paid? That client's really, really good, very healthy client. And I'm thinking to myself, that's peculiar. So I shoot them an email. Hey, just looking to follow up on this. Can you give me an update? And the gal said, we never received that invoice. Well, I haven't generated an LMN, so I must have not hit publish, aka send, or she got it and who knows, and it just went through black hole. Obviously, you're not going to call her out or anything like that. Let folks save face, but it was no big deal. I said, let me resend you the invoice. And then I got a notification literally today that ACH has been initiated, and I'll have those funds lately tomorrow, Thursday, if not on Friday. Right. So I didn't need to wait until August 2nd or August 1st doing end of month to realize an invoice that's normally paid for on the first week of the month or second week of the month through ACH. Again, very good client. But who would like to have another $2,000 in their checking account? I know I would. So I think being on top of your cash flow, being on top of your invoicing, being very firm and strict on net 30, and giving people reminders the third or fourth week of the month. And then, of course, when you're doing end of month for August, if you will, from July, reminding those folks like, hey, dude, invoices are due. It's not net 40, it's not net 45, it's not net 50. If you want it to be, I will be your bank, but we're going to charge late fees and I will finance your lateness and your tardiness. That's a huge thing. Every Monday for about an hour, I am scouring through my Element invoices and we are collecting and we are catching up with invoices. Nothing is getting, I don't have anything out past 30 days right now. I got one. I'll be honest with you. I got one. It's a storage place, but it's a $478 invoice. And that check was quote unquote in the mail 2 weeks ago. Haven't seen it yet. Followed up again. My second follow up on that. And so I don't know if I have an update for you just yet, but that's out of 35 grand a month in recurring work. That's not too bad to have a net $450 net accounts receivable. And on a net 30, I'm probably less than 10 grand right now. And it's July 31st as I'm doing this with you guys. So I don't mind being owed a few bucks along the way. Most of these guys will pay in the next couple days. But as you can imagine, next week, Monday, they're all getting invoices with end of month. Or actually Friday here. No, tomorrow, Thursday. But we got to keep them on a short leash. All right. Abel, by the way, congrats on joining. Congrats on all your success and growth. That's awesome. I was just listening to Corey Ballard's podcast and Leroy today. And by the way, again, that cash flow versus profitability, they were talking about being multi-millions, right? And struggling with cash flow issue and profitability, right? And then I listened to A1 Plus Lawn Care and Landscaping out of, he's in like the East Coast somewhere. Really good dude. I was listening to his story again today, and that might be a really good story for you to listen to, Abel. Lucas, hopefully that was a good question for you, or a good answer for you. I'm sorry. Matt Craven, I'm growing out of my tailgate spreader. Been looking at doing liquid brine, as no one in my area is doing that, so try to differentiate us from others. Yeah, absolutely. Great job. Myself personally, I'm seeing people cutting landscape work and just want the maintenance work. Yeah, there's a little bit of that for sure. It does take some selling. Landscaping work is out there. Don't let anybody fool you. Look, if let's say it's a $10 trillion economy and we go back 5%, there's still I should have did this math before I started, but still 9.5 to 9.75, right? $1 trillion of work being conducted. So it's out there. When I started applying salt, I bought a tailgate spreader and applied for only 2 seasons. I saved the money to buy an 8K and scale to 80 houses. There you go. Great job, Vinny. Black stakes and gutters are from Asphalt Singles Oxidizing. We buy gutter cleaner chemical called Gutter Bright from local chemistry company. Awesome. I've considered getting the pressure washing. Condon, that's right. Great. Condon, am I saying your name right? I just want to make sure I'm saying your name right. I see you in here every week. All right. Got any tips for hiring your first employee, and when should you hire your first employee? Tons of tips. There's hundreds and hundreds of tips on hiring employees on the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Anytime we talk about employees or hiring, I always put it in the title. So if you're scrolling through your phone on mobile, you'll be able to know that one's about employees, because I know folks are constantly searching out questions about hiring and firing. So I want to make it very easily discoverable. So you don't have to just be like, 27-year-old runs $2 million landscape company as the title. You don't know, like, if we talked employees on that one. All of the ones where we do talk employees, because I know it's such a hot button topic, especially the last couple of years, we'll have tips for hiring employees or employee hiring tips or culture of something. it's always about hiring or employees or culture in the title of that podcast. It's something I've tried to be very cognizant about. But Chance, I will suggest checking out the podcast. And then I know we've got some dedicated YouTube videos and podcasts on that topic in general. So you should be able to find them pretty easily. Just a little bit of sifting if you are feeling ambitious. All right, got some great questions. I'm doing my best to get in here, guys. A lot of questions about pressure washing. I love that. All right. Yeah, Vinny said, why do you guys do net 30? All of our residential are charge card on file. Our commercial are all net 30. I'd love to work some of our clients to a more favorable payment term. It's just not a thing here for my company. And I'm not making excuses. I'm sure I could strong arm a few and really work them down to net 7 or net 14. But I know the commercial work where I live, it's very, very heavy commercial. It's very, very heavy commercial work here. And I was talking to Jeremiah Jennings on the Together in the Trades cruise. He goes, dude, you could do millions in commercial work where you live. I go, yeah, literally. It's so heavy commercial. It's heavy residential too. But you're not going to get away with, strong arming somebody on net 7, net 14 commercial here. It's not going to happen. There's just too many guys that offer commercial work, and they're all happy to take net 30, net 45, net 60. Net 30 is a little bit more of a unicorn where I live. But I'm not saying that you can't get a charge card on file for a credit card, a charge card on file for a commercial. I'm not saying that you can't work it down on net 7, net 14 day. I would not do anything over net 30, net 45. I got one that's the net 60, but it's a $14,000 snow account, so I'm not letting that one go. They're a flat rate, $3,200 a month accounts, plus or minus, and I'm not letting that one go. Charge card on file is the way to go, 100%. Yes, great point. In your early years of business, building clientele, what is one thing you would have changed when giving estimates to challenging customers? I would have sent more estimates via email or via my CRM for approval instead of trying to work on a good price in person. And number two, I would not work with challenging customers. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe if you want to add to that, I got plenty of time here, Rita. Shoot me a message here in the Facebook live chat and let me know what you mean by challenging customers, because that could be 100 different things for 100 different people. Oh, my first name is CJ. Do you go by CJ or Condon? Let me know. All right, Owen, what would you do if you get a one-time mow or landscape and they don't want to pay or just lay it on paying? Yeah, that's frustrating. 1 second here. If they don't want to pay, I mean, why do they not want to pay? Was the job not done correctly, or do they tell you they don't want to pay? If that's the case, I don't want to pay my taxes, but I got to pay them anyway, But, and give me a little bit more. I don't know why they wouldn't want to pay. If they're late on paying for a one-time cut, you cut your losses. It's not that big of a deal. They'll pay you when they pay you. I would send a strong email. Hey, Michael, just wanted to touch base about that one-time cut that we did back on July 3rd. We are net 7 on one-time cuts. I know we're about 3 weeks extended past that net 7-day payment term, or 2 weeks past that net 7-day payment terms. We are looking to collect on that payment here by Friday, August 2nd. If payment is not received, unfortunately, we'll have to escalate this matter and likely send this off to our collection team. We'd like to avoid that. If you can pay via credit card over the phone, we're happy to take care of payment now. Or if you can guarantee that a check is in the mail, or we were able to swing by and pick one up. I would just say something like that in a well-worded email. Not a voicemail, not a text message. That would be to the customer's email. After that, I wouldn't really pursue it too much. 45, 50, 60 bucks one time. Life happens, sucks. I would probably move to hey, we charge your card on file before we mow system. But I don't really deal with too much of that around here. We're pretty good at weeding people out. Now I'm sure we'll still get burned once in a while. We all do. But if 50, 60, 80 bucks is going to make or break anything, then I would implement the system to immediately move to a charge card on file. So if we're going to cut your lawn one time, I need $50 cash in my hand, or I need to run your card on file, or run a card right now, or send an invoice to you, and you need to pay it before I leave the site. So hopefully that helps. Rita, I said, she said, I like the answer, don't. Yeah, I mean, we've worked with challenging customers or difficult customers, but there's a difference between those two types of clients, right? Somebody just asking questions and being particular and trying to understand a little bit more about the process or the scope of work. That's fair. That's fine. But that might be a challenging customer to some, and they might say drop them or quit or let them be somebody else's problem. I'm always willing to have a conversation with somebody and understand where they're coming from a little bit. Now, if somebody's being ridiculous, or they're asking too much, or they're trying to move the cheese, or they start moving the cheese and then moving the cheese again, then that gets frustrating, and that's likely not going to work very well for our company. That person won't make it. Good questions, man. Excuse me, Braden Ballard, related to Corey Ballard? Maybe. With Charge Kind of File, how do you handle processing fees? Many of our customers just send a check to save a few bucks. We do not charge any of our customers any processing fees. We eat the cost of that. It's baked into our price. It's baked into our overhead. We've figured all that out way before we even switched to LMN. For every 100 grand that we charge, I spend 2, 3, 4 grand on fees, and I'm happy to do so. If you want to pass those fees along, the 3% or $3 minimum, whatever, to your customers, you can enable that on most CRMs these days. Not opposed to it, but for me personally, I don't give our customers any other way to pay our residential clients. So for me, I just have a little moral dilemma there. It's not really a convenience fee because I'm not making it convenient for them. I'm not giving them any other way to pay. Then a Charge Card and File. So I just feel like, in my strive to be moral and righteous and virtuous, I don't think it's a convenience fee for them as it's a convenience for me. So we take the hit on that fee, but again, you factor that into the price. What would be a $45 mow, you now charge $48. What's $55, you now charge $57. I will say anything landscaping wise over $1,000, $1,500, $2,500, I'm all about taking a check versus a Charge Kind of File though. Anything about $1,500, $2,000 or less, we'll still run a card, no problem. Excuse me. Went by CJ and their content in high school, and then that's how I did my Facebook when I created my account. There you go. They don't respond. I'll put it that way. Texting and emails. The job was done correctly, and they did appreciate it. This is the person that wasn't interested in paying. The job was done correctly, and they did appreciate it. It was with a third-party company from the actual company we worked for. It was about $25 worth of mowing and landscaping. Yeah, at that point, you need to likely hire a small corporate attorney, a small collection company, have a company or corporate attorney or a collection attorney put something on a letterhead or a legal document, send it out their way. They'll do that for 50 to 100, $200, and that could be really, really helpful. I have found 8 out of 10 times, or 4/5 even of the times, that if you email them with a strong worded statement, again, something like, hey, we've realized, hey, John, just wanted to touch base. Again, we completed this work on 7/3. We were a net 7, days company. I have tried numerous times to reach out to your team, and I have not received any response or calls back. Please note that if we do not receive payment by 8/2, August 2nd, 2024, then we will have to escalate this, including any and all associated fees, both legal and with collection. So I would just say this will be our last communication with you before we escalate this in a legal fashion. Please remit payment if you'd like to avoid this escalation. I can be available at this email and this phone number. That's it. Doesn't have to be anything more complicated than that. Whoever talks first next loses. Okay, so let them receive that email. I had a customer literally like that this spring, residential cleanout, $350 or $375, and then a $45 first time weekly mow. It did take about 6 or so weeks, and I don't know what the hell was going on with them. But I showed up to their front door, and then I called once or twice, and then I sent that exact email, and I got a phone call. I don't even think it was 10 minutes later from the wife saying, hey, please resend the card on file link. I'll update a card and you can run that through. Something like that. So it happens even to myself. Excuse me. Vinny, you need to get started on your business about payment, 60% deposit, 40% when it's done. Love that. Or draws, multiple draws. I'm curious how much salt you put down per acre. Do you charge how much you put every time, or do you tell the customer how much it's going to be for every application? Both. We tell the customer what it's typically per ton applied as a rate, or an acre is like per 1,000 or 700, 800 pounds worth of salt. You can give them a price. Let's say a ton applied is $240. A half ton or 800 pounds is, or 1,000 pound rate is $120 or $140. We build all that into our templates. We have a conversation with our customers. We let them know all the above, because what I've noticed so far bidding snow and salt is people will start comparing ton applied and pricing, but they won't give like both, if that makes sense. They'll say, oh, we're at 200 applied, but they'll put down a ton and a half. And then I'll say we're at 240 applied and we might only put down 1 ton. It just depends. And there's definitely some margin there. So you want to make sure that you're pricing it and wording it in a way to get it. And there's a lot of wiggle room in the salt and snow conversation and bidding process. That's for sure. All right. Yes, the Hyatt Hotel, the host hotel for LAL, is booked up. Great comment there from Bethany. The overflow is literally a mile down the road. I do believe we have some rooms there for now, but I know that one is quickly filling up too. And I'm not just saying that to say that. I'm not a hype guy. But LAL's main host hotel, the Hyatt, that's on site of the convention, sold out in like 2 hours. The host hotel usually sells out within a month or two after that. And then we have a third backup hotel in the queue. So just a quick comment there. The every extra hotel ends up being another mile or two away. So you want to be as close as possible to the heat. All right, these are really, really good conversations. I hope you guys appreciate nights like this. I love hanging with you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for being a part of Link. It's really, really cool to have so many great folks to build community with. Whether it's 20 people on a night or 75 on a night, it's always cool getting to hang out with you guys. I really do look forward to these. It helps keep me sharp. It helps me want to bring something to the table. And any questions that you have, I'm going to try to answer them best I can or find somebody who can.
During August, when you purchase the whole ball of wax at LAWntrepreneurAcademy.com and use the code LAL2024, you receive $250 off and 1 free ticket to LAWNtrepreneur Academy Live 2024 this November in Novi, Michigan. Seize the moment and elevate your lawn care business with our most comprehensive package. You get full access to all training programs, including a one-on-one coaching call with Brian. The whole ball of wax includes free lifetime upgrades to future editions with a few exclusions. It's over $3,500 in programs and resources for $14.99, and we're going to take an extra $250 off that price. This is easily saving you over 50% compared to buying a la carte. If you've been contemplating making your move to the top, now is the time to act. The clock is ticking and this offer ends August 31st. Turn your aspirations into achievements with LAWNtrepreneur Academy's whole ball of wax. Use code LAL2024 and you receive $250 off and 1 free ticket to LAWNtrepreneur Academy Live 2024. We've provided a link in the show description.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are 2 things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched LAWNtrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining LAWNtrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LAWNtrepreneur.academy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the LAWNtrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.